items from Verizon. You can go over and pick out your wrapping paper, and now you're going to know how to wrap the perfect gift, because we're here with Heather Sharp. She's from the Albany Mall. You guys actually wrap gifts for people, though, just in case you can't get all of this we talk about. You guys actually do this at the Albany Mall.
We do have some groups who will be at the mall wrapping mall purchases.
Okay.
It's complimentary. We have some groups that will be there this weekend as well as next weekend. And they're doing it for free. Of course, tips are appreciated. They will benefit those groups. So that's really exciting. If you don't want to wrap, if you do want to wrap, we can definitely show you how to do that.
All right.
So
let's get to it then. Okay, I mean, she came on last year, and we had to bring her back because I told her, to this day when I wrap presents, I think of her because she taught me how to make gifts, and I'm still working on it. I haven't mastered it by far, but tell us where you start.
If you don't have something that's already boxed up, of course, you're going to need a box. Of course, if you've got a box, you can skip all that if you've got one of those great Verizon phones that's already boxed, all ready to go. But let's start with inside the box, which is where a lot of people start off wrong to begin with. Instead of just cramming tissue paper in there, you want to make it look nice.
Okay.
So I like to fold it the size of the box.
Oh my gosh. I've already done things wrong.
Well, if you have something small or breakable, you will need some extra tissue. But, you know, if you're wrapping some clothing, you want to just fold it up nicely, put it in there. It's also nice to take the tags, just the price part off. Don't rip the whole tag off, because if something goes wrong, it's hard to return it without the tag. And if you have a gift receipt, that would go in there as well. Just wrap it around there nicely.
That looks so good already.
And then you're already, and if you need to, you can tape that down. And then put your box together. This one's a little hard to get together.
Uh-oh. It looks like it would have cake in it or something. So you kind of just like folded it in the middle so that it fit that box, and then fold and fold.
Yes.
Okay.
Just make it look nice. That's really all that matters.
Okay.
Okay. And then you want to measure your wrapping paper. If you need to tape your box, you can. A lot of people think you have to tape everything like 18 times. That's really not necessary. So less is more with the tape.
Okay.
You want to measure your box. And
How do you do that?
Measure the box. You just want to make sure you have enough wrapping paper to go all the way around it.
Okay.
Because if not, then you're going to cut a piece and you're going to waste wrapping paper because it's not going to fit all the way.
Okay, so you kind of do this little flippy
thing. Just go ahead and measure. It's fine to have a little extra. That's no problem.
Okay.
And then I'm also going to measure on the sides. You need at least enough to cover half.
All right.
But see, I've got more than that over here, so I'm going to go ahead and trim it down a little.
Oh, so you wouldn't kind of scooch it over? That's what I
You definitely can, but if you get too much paper, it's just going to look all bunchy and messy.
Yes.
So go ahead and trim that down.
Okay.
If you have a big enough piece and you want to save that, you can. Certainly no need to waste. And then the other secret is that I am going to fold this under, because no one can ever cut this exactly straight. See, this is not exactly straight. Your scissors do crazy things.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to go ahead and tape that. But you see, it's made like this nice, even line.
Very pretty. So she actually folded the ends under.
Make like a little tail.
That is so.
I'm going to tape that down.
That really knocks it up like already. You were like from a 2 to a 10. But we're going to be back seeing how she wraps the rest of this box when we come right back. Melanie, over to you. Exactly. We're back learning how to make beautiful wrappings for all of those Christmas presents that you guys are giving out. And so far, we've kind of gotten halfway there. We've talked about the inside. Can we recap just real quick?
We had our tissue paper. We folded it nicely, wrapped it around our gift, and then we got started. Remember, we folded it over so that we have a nice clean line. Right. And then we're going to pull it around our box.
Do the same with this side.
We're going to make it nice and tight so we don't have all that loose paper that looks messy. I just took the extra, wrapped it under, and made a little tail. Another piece of tape. Unless it's a big box, you don't need 30 pieces.
Okay.
And then I'm going to do my ends.
Okay. And this part's hard because the other end isn't done yet, so it always sticks out.
It always is kind of weird, so I like to just prop it like this.
That's a good idea. If you got a table.
My way, and there's 2 different ways. You can push the top down, which is not my way. My way is just to fold it in like this, and you want to make sure you fold it all the way to the box.
Okay.
Again, we're going to make nice, tight creases. It just makes it easier when everything's nice and snug and you don't have all those messy lines from too much extra paper. So you've got a little too much extra here.
Okay.
And it starts to get
That's what mine did last night. And I just kind of was like, well, tuck it all in. And then
really, that's the key. If you can just tuck it all in, you're good.
Okay.
You want your tails to point to the back. And what I mean is, when you finish, this should be pointing at your back line.
Okay.
So I'm going to fold down this part first. In fact, I'm going to put an extra piece of tape just to hold everything in place. And I'm going to crease everything nice and tight. Fold this under so we don't see that little extra messy part. No matter how good you are, it still gets messy sometimes. Secure that. And then I'm going to do the same thing here. And I'm going to fold this right here.
This looks so pretty.
And now no one can see any jagged paper.
There you go. Now you've got that one side done, so it's a little bit easier.
Yes, and I've actually got a little too much paper on this end, so I'm going to make it easier on myself by cutting it off. It looks a lot nicer if you'll cut it off either at this stage or when we first measured our box, because if you fold it and then cut it, when you open it back up, it's going to have the worst jagged looking lines around the edge. So take that extra step, go ahead and trim it now.
Okay.
Now we've got a nice end, so we can just prop it up like that.
Okay. And now Heather told me that there's a lot of debate on the correct way to do the ends of the box, but
and I'll show you actually. I have a friend, and she wraps like this, where you fold down the top.
Okay, I've seen that.
This is perfectly okay. It's not the way I do it, so I'm not quite as good at it. But there are people who do it this way. If this is your way, make sure that you fold it down all the way in, and then you're going to push these sides in.
Okay. I used to do it like that, and then when you came last year and showed us the other way, I started doing it
I got you confused, right?
Yeah, and then I was like, okay, well, I'm going to do it the other way because I liked the way that it looked.
You know what? I think that folding the sides in is easier on shirt boxes. If you have a square type box, I actually think it's easier to do it this way.
So it kind of depends on what you're wrapping.
It does depend on what you're wrapping. So I'm going to fold this over like I did with my others.
Okay. There we go.
Results are similar, so it's just a matter of preference. Now you've got a nice box. It should be nice and tight so you don't have all that loose paper, and then you just want to put a bow on it.
Okay.
Lots of different ways to do bows, but if you're really just starting out, you have no idea what you're doing, if you can tie a shoelace, then just find some ribbon. Guys, preferably it needs to match the box. Unless you're, you know, you can do some crazy things with things that coordinate, but let me just, guys, just stick with what matches. And then the easiest thing to do is just going to be tied nice and tight.
Okay. And do a little bow, like a shoelace.
Yeah, and then tied just like a shoelace. Easy, easy. If you really want to use a stick-on bow, you can. They're not my favorite. But if you've made it this far, congrats. And then it looks a little nicer if you'll trim it off kind of at an edge.
Okay, and do a little point, a little diagonal cut. Beautiful box.
And now you have a box
to put under your tree.
Be sure to write the name on it somewhere so you know who it's going to. If you have a big awkward gift bag that.
Okay.
Kids' gifts, just find a big gift bag, stick some tissue in it, and you should be good.
There you go. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys.
Again, Heather Sharp from the Albany Mall. If you guys buy something at the mall, they will do gift wrapping, complimentary, but they will,
Got it going on this weekend and next weekend by some different charity groups in the community.
There you go. So